Hello everyone, this is TobeTada with another video of crypto trading. Thanks for checking by, and let's dive right in. So for today's video, I'm going to give you two possible scenarios for the future Bitcoin movement. And in my opinion, one is more likely than the other. I'll start with the one that I think is a little bit less likely to happen, but it's definitely possible. So what I mean by that is that if we look at this movement here and this peak here in terms of Elliott wave theory, we could lay this out as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So this is an impulse wave, and we have the first wave here, second wave here, a third wave, and a fourth wave, and a fifth wave, marking this the peak here. Now you can also see this is an extended wave, third wave here we have, because there are other subwaves within this extension. And after such an impulse wave, we should see a correction. And that is exactly what happened. And in the past, I made a video with a price outlook of about 7,000 to 8,000 for Bitcoin. And that's basically one scenario I'm going to go into again. The other scenario is that we're going to actually see a further increase in the near future. And what I mean by that is that if we look at the certain corrective waves in the Elliott wave theory, we can see that there are basically certain possible corrections, and one of them are the triangle corrections. And if you look at this image here, you can see that we're basically within this descending triangle right now. I think that works pretty well. We have been basically having this impulse wave here going up here, and now we had this correction, which you can basically draw in this triangle here, which would make this a descending triangle. And we could mark this as an, basically from the chart you can see this would be the A, B, C, and now if this scenario holds out to be true, then this would have to be a D, an E, and then for the breakout, there would have to be a movement breaching this resistance here, which is coming from this upper side of this triangle here. And so, because this has been basically moving exactly as in this idea of the descending triangle, this is definitely a good possibility. And you can see we would have to basically go up to a D again here, reaching the resistance at about 10,500, going down again to about 9,500, and then there should be a breach out. So we'll have to see if this pattern holds out to be true. And another way of seeing if we're actually in this triangle formation, you'd have to actually look at the subwaves here. And you can see in the image that this would have to be composed of an ABC here. So we'd have to see here an ABC, which we see here, ABC, then a corrective ABC, another correction ABC, and so there'd have to be another ABC and an ABC, and then the breakout. And so because this works pretty well, I think this is definitely one scenario. There is a reason for why I think there is another scenario which is somewhat more likely, and that is basically the breach in the support, which would bring us down to about 7,000 to 8,000, to around right here. And the reason for why I'm saying this is that if we basically look in the past, and I made a couple of videos about that as well, and we look at the logarithmic scale here, you can see that the corrections in Bitcoin were basically always happening within the idea of Fibonacci ratios. So basically, what we said was that if we basically look at such an impulse wave here, and we mark the beginning and the end, which would be something like that. We'd have the 0 down here and 1 up here, and then we have the Fibonacci ratios here and a half here. And in the past we could basically see that Bitcoin always corrected itself down to about 0.618. Let me see if you, right, let me just get rid of that image here. Didn't bother too much. So 0.68, that's basically the magic number here in Bitcoin. And because I'm now in Binance here in TradingView, I can't go back further than 2017 August here, but you can actually do this yourself. If you basically look at the corrections of Bitcoin, you can see that this is basically always correcting itself. Not always, of course, but the probability is very high that there will be a correction to 0.618. And so that would bring us down to 7,700, 800, and would also coincide with this support of the fourth wave here we had, which brought us down to about 7,500, 600. And because this trend is so strong in Bitcoin, you could say this is basically the fractal of Bitcoin, moving up and then going down to about 618. Sorry for my terrible drawing here. So at this line, I think this is a stronger probability. So if that is true, we'd actually have to see here another correction. You can see the price is now holding, and it's probably going to go up to about 9,900. And if it goes higher and reaches support and drops back, we know that we're in the triangle situation. The alternative here is that we're going to go up to about 10,000, and the momentum won't be strong enough and the price will drop again. And I think then, because there is no support coming from the recent market fluctuations, we're going to see a drop to about 7,800. What I meant is that here basically we don't have a support coming from there, because we had a low at about 9,500, so that support is very strong, and will very likely drop to around 8.6 and then perhaps to about 8.78. And then the idea is we're going to basically go up again. So in the long term and even midterm, the price of Bitcoin, the movement of Bitcoin looks fairly positive, or perhaps I should say in the midterm, in this scenario, it looks negative because we're going to go down here before going back up. But in both scenarios, the price will ultimately go up. So let me know what you think about this insight, and see you next time. Bye.